fresh battery. It's lovely. I've got extra batteries, and I just recently bought, I don't know, it's maybe €7, an external battery charger for my camera batteries, so I'm no longer obliged to recharge in the camera. Cool. Anyhow, there's this Pflichtessen coming up. I am obliged to eat a beefsteak because I bought it at 30% off and it was due yesterday. So, hopefully that groceries can hand off slightly outdated things to food pantries or something. I don't know whether that's necessary in this country anyway, but anyhow, I look down on people who waste food, partly because of my wasting money, perhaps, on ending hunger. My second ex-wife and I contributed something over $200,000 to the Hunger Project, which is not a bad thing. It was necessary for her, and perhaps for me, in order to become very successful financially, or yeah, there was nothing really we had to deny ourselves, and although at one point I almost bankrupted us by my ego speaking at a contribution soliciting meeting and promising $100,000, of which I think I fell short by 80, I'm not sure. In any case, ultimately it was made up, but there was certainly an ego push. There was that wanting to be in that category of people who were so wealthy and powerful that they could give away $100,000 in 1 year or something. Yeah, crazy. Well, this speaks to the hierarchy thing. Nobody wants to be at the bottom. Nobody wants to be looked down upon by everyone. I think that's pretty true. There may be exceptions. Humans are exceptional creatures, but with our networked nervous systems, that's the Neuigkeit. That's the innovation that evolution brought to Earth, which turned us into what we are from what we were, say, 100 or 200,000 years ago, or even only 50 or 20 or 10. We were basically wandering bands of apes, doing basically what apes do, although we did have fire from perhaps 1 million years. It's hard to say, nobody really knows. No apes have fire, but the apes that we were did. And that, with its power over other animals, especially predators, and with cooking so that the nutrients of plant material and maybe even flesh, I don't know, but certainly plant material would be made accessible to our digestive systems. Less starvation, more survival. And weapon or implement crafting goes back farther, I think. Maybe I'm not right. I think of 1.7 million years back, but I don't know that that's the right number or the right subject. Apes don't do much in the way of shaping stones and sticks, but they do. They do some. So that's not so recent. In any case, I do plan on Pflichtessen. In the form of a lovely beefsteak. I have recently discovered that not only can I break off my filters in the standard manner, this is the standard manner, pinch it here, pull this off, but I can also do it right-handed with just my mouth. So if I ever, I can do it left-handed that way too, of course. So if I ever lose the ability to function properly with one hand or arm or something, I'm still quite capable of preparing my smokes. So hierarchy. My expectation is that we will forever be blessed and cursed by our hierarchical natures. And there is more than one hierarchical nature, although basically upward, not downward. Thank you very much. If you go downward, it's only to go upward. You know, like, I can live with nothing. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Anyway. Some of us apparently cannot be satisfied in life without being number one. The top. Top ape. Top dog. Which, among other things, leads to cities, countries, empires, back in the old days, when we lived basically like other apes, in more or less family groups, tribes, small communities on the order of, say, 100 people. You know, psychologists or something tell us that more or less we are capable of being, I guess, deeply cognizant of around 100 people. So that's fitting. And I've been exposed to another statistic, whether it's true or not, who knows, that around 1% of us are psychopaths. How fitting. Each village, on the average, should have one psychopath. I am top dog, you are underdog. And then they can fight with each other for who's going to be top psychopath of a territory or of a tribe or of whatever, of the world. I'm thinking also of the shaman who has powers in a realm different to that of the top dog, but complementary. And then we end up with religion like pseudo brotherhood. It's a great foundation for war making. Pseudo brotherhood. We're Christians, we're Muslims, we're Jews, we're whatever we are, and they're not. We hang together. And if it's necessary, I would give my life for my brother. Well, genetically, that's not too bad. If you're, yeah, if your brother has the same father, he's got half of your genome in him. So how do we deal with our hierarchical natures? In some sense, everybody has to sort of look down on somebody. Otherwise, you're at the bottom. And chances are, if you're at the bottom, you look down very ferociously on the top cats. The fuckers have stolen my labor. They have, yeah, whatever. Tosh and posh. Anyway, is there anything really worth talking about? Yes, love. Love is a many-splendored thing. One aspect is that there's no such thing, only loving actions. Another aspect is to love is to be the space in which others show up as they are and as they aren't. Just as they are and as they aren't. A space in which they show up. That is love. And a third, perhaps my favorite, is that love is nothing but a mammalian instinct. Truly a mammalian instinct. Without love, a mother would eat, and a father, for God's sake, would eat the child rather than suckle it. Parenting. As with mammals, as with birds, is loving. A loving action, in my not so humble opinion, a loving action is an action which supports, which contributes something of value to another at some cost to the contributor. Something is given, and apart from the impulse to love, there is no reward. It's at the cost of the actor of the loving action. Who's the actor? Or what is the actor? In my not so humble opinion, it's the entire organism, networked as it is. So it involves the neural network, the network of nervous systems. But it's essentially the whole fucking creature and some of its connections. The whole creature, what you'd call unconscious and what you'd call conscious, are aspects of that creature. But it's the whole creature that acts. It's the whole creature that comes up with the impulse to act, comes up with executive overview, what we tend to call consciousness, and acts, however it acts. That's what I am anyway. I don't know what you are. So, $17. Well, that could come to an end, and maybe there'll be more. Maybe there won't. But there will be Pflichtessen. Tschüss.